Hello, greeting to all. This is Professor Dr. Satish Polchettiwar from MIT World Peace University School of Pharmacy, Pune, India. Today we will discuss on very important topic from your immunity, that is understanding of monoclonal antibody. As we aware about that, we are moving from pharmaceutical to biopharmaceutical formulations and developments. So this is one of the important topic, that is a monoclonal antibody. We all of you know we are witness with this pandemics. In pandemic also we we are treating this particular deadly we can say infections by using monoclonal antibody. So let us discuss about this monoclonal antibody. What are their we can say the applications, how we can manufacture and produce this monoclonal antibody, what are different between monoclonal antibody and polyclonal antibody, what are the advantages and disadvantages of this monoclonal antibody. We will begin with this session with these introductions. Let's begin with this topic. Learning objective, what you are going to learn in this entire presentations. We will discuss first what are monoclonal antibody, then we will discuss about its method of preparation, then advantages and disadvantages, then its application and limitations, because every system have their pros and cons. Then future prospectus, how we can utilize this as a personalized medicine, regenerative medicines. Okay, we all of you know we are moving from the person, that means conventional medicines, to the personalized medicines, genetic medicines. So this is one of the, we can say, the therapy we call as immunotherapy. So let us discuss the introduction part of this antibody and antigens. So first we'll discuss what is antibody. So antibodies are nothing but they are glycoproteins. These are the glycoproteins molecule present in the serum produced against antigenic response. We all of you know whenever we expose with any kind of antigens, it could be viruses, bacteria, plant pathogens, anything. It could be chemical substance also. Body recognize as a antigen and foreign substance and respond to that, produce certain antibody, and that is antibody we call as glycoproteins. We normally refer as immunoglobulin. So we have total 5 types of immunoglobulin in your body, like IgG, IgA, IgM, IgE, and IgD. We all know gamete. We referred as a gamete. These antibodies are secreted by the class of blood cells that is we known as a beta lymphocytes. We all of you know that we referred as a beta lymphocytes. These are produced when the body come in contact and invaded by the foreign particles or organisms. And we all know this immunoglobulin, which is made up of two identical heavy chain and two identical light chains, which is having Y-shaped structures. Okay, we have discussed in immunoglobulins. Okay, how does it how it looks. Okay, if you just look at the structure of antibody, you can see over here it has having Y-shaped structures, which is made up of we can say polypeptides. Okay, we have discussed in the last session regarding this. So what are monoclonal antibody? Now let us discuss about the monoclonals. Okay, the name itself indicates having a monospecificity. Okay, the monoclonal antibody means which is having a monospecific antibody, which is commonly known as abbreviated by MOAB. This is the common abbreviations we call as. Sometimes it is called as M small ab. This is the, we can say, nothing but the abbreviations. Okay, how it is dictated. Okay. So monoclonal antibody are the antibodies that are identical because they were produced by one of type of immune cells. They are going to produce by one type of immune cell, that is we call as beta cell, and are clones of single parent cell, which are obtained from the single parent cell. We will discuss how it has to be produced, okay, by using that hybridoma technology. So monoclonal antibody means nothing but these are the identicals and directed against a specific antigens. Means like we can see over here, these are the three epitopes: epitope A, epitope B, and epitope C, which is having a different structures. But if you see the specificity, this particular antibody which act on specifically on this epitope A, this antibody will not act on this B and C. Why? Because this particular antibody, which is very specific against this specific antigens, means these are we call it identical and directed against a specific antigen, that is we referred as epitopes. What is epitopes? Epitopes are nothing but the specific antigen which is located on that particular antigenic sites. That is called as antigenic determinant site. That is called as epitopes. These are monosingle. We call as, that's why this monoclonal antibody called as monosingle. Okay, because these are made by identical immune cell, and which specifically target a clone of cells which is particular to that antigen or that particular epitopes. But if you see the polyclonals, name itself indicate poly means many. Like mono means single cell and poly means many clones, means they represent the antibody from multiple clones of beta lymphocytes and therefore bind to a number of different epitopes. If we take the example of this polyclonal antibody, they bind to different epitopes. They bind to different epitopes. Means this particular antibody will bind on this A, B, and C as. Means that is called as polyclonal antibody. Like we can see over here, the same antibody. You can see over here, the antibody have capacity to bind on different that particular antigens. That is called as polyclonal antibodies. Okay, they are synthesized from different immune cells. An antibody produced bind to multiple antigens. They bind on multiple antigens. Okay, while monoclonal antibody bind against specific antigens. We can see specificity. It has high specificity and high purity. We have seen in this particular figure. Now, so let us discuss about history and development of this particular monoclonal antibody. How this particular era has been started. You all of you know we understood the chemotherapy. So because of the father of that chemotherapy, Paul Ehrlich, at the beginning of 20th century coined the term magic bullets. We all know the salvarsan, the drug, that is the we can say first kind of the chemical synthesized molecules. That is, he postulated that if a compound could be made that selectively target disease causing organisms, then toxins for that organism could be delivered along with the agent of selectivity. In the 1970, the beta cell cancer cell, we all know beta cell, and cancer multiple myeloma was known. That time people were knowing about beta cell and cancer multiple myeloma. And it was understood that this cancerous beta cell will produce a single type of antibody. We all know when you fuse this beta cell with the cancerous cells, then they produce single type of antibody that is called as paraproteins. In 1975, the Kohler and Milstein, they are the scientists we all know, they got a Nobel Prize in 1984 because of their we can say outstanding proof of clonal selection theory by fusion of normal cell with the malignant cell. We normally refer as myeloma cells, because myeloma cells have that immortality. They continuously grow without dying the cells. That is called as the cancerous cells, because you know cancer is growing without we can say controlled manner and proliferations. Okay, so cell continuously dividing. So if you just fuse these malignant cells, that is cancerous cell, a myeloma cell, with a normal cell like beta cell, we can say, then that particular fusion we call as hybridoma, and that hybridoma technology we call as hybridoma technology, for which they receive a Nobel Prize in 1984. And because of that particular technology, you know, the first monoclonal antibody was licensed by FDA, and which was made commercially available in 1986. And that drug we call as biopharmaceutical products, a biological product we could say, okay, that is called as Arthroclone OKT3, which is Moramunab CD3, which was approved for use of preventing kidney transplant rejections. Means the era was started for rejecting the you know a transplant. We all know we always use the organ transplantation process. In that we have to suppress the immunity of that particular tissues, so that particular person should receive that particular, you know, donor should receive, you know, donor has to that particular receiver has to match with that donor tissue cell compatibility. That is called MSC proteins, we all know. So this particular arthoclone is used to prevent the kidney transplant rejections, which we now refer as immunosuppressants. And the technology we call it hybridoma technology, which is used for production of monoclonal antibody. We will discuss how this particular process is we can say applied to produce this monoclonal antibody. So let us talk about method of this particular monoclonal antibody, how we can prepare this monoclonal antibody. We all know, so we have multiple antigens. We have multiple antigens. If you see the conformation and coordination orientation of these antigens are different. And now this is nothing but your antibody. So antibody have a particular structure that is called as paratopes. Okay, these are the epitopes. So antigens called as epitopes, while antibody we call as the antibody binding site we call as paratopes. Okay, this is called as paratopes. Paratopes. I'm writing over here paratopes. While this is called as epitopes. Okay, antigens have the determinant site we call as epitopes. Now we can see over among these, this is going to be matched because this particular structure is having a confinement on this particular site. So that is called as specificity. This particular among these 6 antigens or 6 epitopic sites, these are identical because we talked about monoclonal antibody. What is monoclonal antibody? They are monospecific antibody that are made by identical immune cells. They are monosingle. They are very specifically target on clones of that particular cells and which is particular to that antigen or epitopes. So that is called as specificity. These are quite specific. These are not going to match. They are not going to match with this. They are not going to be confined with that particular orientations. But only this thing is going to match. So that is called as monoclonal antibody. We have to identify that particular things, whether this antigen is going to be attached with this particular antibody or not. Because with response to the antigens, whenever these cells get provoked, then they produce multiple antibody. So we have to find out which antibody is going to be attract with that antigens. That is the process we call as hybridoma technology. Okay. So look at this image. How will you prepare this monoclonal antibody? So what is monoclonal antibody? They are monospecific antibody. They are monospecific, okay, that are made by identical immune cells. So for that we need some animals. We all know we mostly take mouse or rat. Okay, so that rat is injected with the interest of your that antigens. You have to challenge this with the antigens so that your antibody going to be formed in that particular animals. So now first process we have to challenge with these antigens. The antigens could be, you can take any proteins, you can take viruses, you can take anything that are we are going to make an antibody against that particular antigens. Now we inject this antigen to these animals. Okay, after injecting these animals, what happens against this response? This particular immune system get provoked, and that animal produce the different antibody that we call as spleen cell. We all know spleen cells contain different beta cells, and the beta cells have the capacity to produce antibody. These beta cells are going to form. So we have different different beta cells are going to form, different antibodies going to form, okay, with response to the antigens. So then what happens? The next step would be you have to take the myeloma cell, that is cell line. We call as, why we take myeloma cells? Because myeloma cell have the capacity to generate more amount of that particular we can say cells that are supposed to grow. So myeloma cells are immortal, that is act as cell lines. Okay, that is you are going to fuse with this spleen cell, that is beta cells. So fusion is going to take place, and that fusion we call as nothing but hybridoma technology. Okay, so this fusion is mostly done by the PEG or electroporation methods. So mostly we use PEG, polyethylene glycol method. Okay, that is called as PEG. So PEG is mostly used to make that hybrid cells. Okay, that is called as hybridoma technology. Okay, so such hybrid cells are created through combining this beta lymphocyte with tumor cell. This is called as tumor cell or myeloma cell, we call as, and that is referred as a myeloma cell. Therefore, this hybrid cell have become capability to yield antibody owing to beta lymphocyte genetic material and capability to distribute indefinitely in the culture due to the existence of tumor cell and myeloma cells. That is the capacity, or that is we call as capability of this particular cell. And fusion is mostly by electrofusion by polyethylene glycol. This is PEG we use, polyethylene glycol, and the mechanism is PEG mediated fusion is still unclear, but it has been seen, it has been advocated that it may be dehydrate the lipid head group prominent to asymmetry of the membrane bilayer, which favor fusion of two cells. Now see, this fusion is going to take place. So now what happens? The next step, this particular the fusion takes place, that we refer as a hybridoma. Now this hybridoma is going to form. Now we have to observe in which particular case the hybridoma is going to form, because this fusion takes place. Okay, then we select the proper clone among all the fusion. If you see, the color have been changed over here. Okay, fusion. So you have to take the proper fused cell. Okay, there are these are unfused cell which is not fused properly. So you have to take only those cells which are fused properly. So that is we done it through flow cytometry method, ELISA plate reader method. We have different techniques to identify this clone cell, whether the clone is properly formed or not. And then we screen it. We do the quality control test. We harvest on the medium, that is we call as selective medium, which will selectively allow to grow that particular hybridoma, that we call as clone in this HAT medium. What is HAT? Hypoxanthine. We call as hypoxanthine amino pterin thymidine medium. Hypoxanthine aminoterine thymidine medium along with the drug the aminoterine. Okay, this is we use in order to clone, allow to grow selectively that clone. Now this is the clone that you are supposed to grow it furtherly, so as to get we can say the monoclonal antibody. And this cell have capability to produce polyclonal antibody. This particular cell have capability to produce polyclonal antibody, but we want a monoclonal antibody. See, this myeloma cell have capability to grow this particular cell immortally. in presence of this aminoterine as a selective mediums. And this definite antibody making beta lymphocytes unable to divide continuously in the culture medium. Thus, eventually they die. That is the process. Only hybridoma cell have got the ability to divide and proliferate in the hatch medium because genome from beta lymphocyte makes them HGPRT positive genome from the myeloma cell. They can divide indefinitely. Thus, only the hybridoma cell or fused cell are selected using selective media, that is we call as hatch medium. This has a play vital role, a significant role in this development of this hybridoma technology. So after that, then we screen it by using this hatch selective medium. Then we finally probably we get this, the we can say the desired cell, the interested cell we can say. So that is we call as monoclonal antibody, which is having capability to specifically fight against that particular antigens. That we refer as a monoclonal antibody. Finally, we select desired hybridoma for cloning and antibody production, which make single cell colonies that can grow and use them to screen antibody fabricating hybridoma. That we use this particular the clone cell we all know, which is properly form hybridoma. This is very important critical steps, because sometimes what happens, some cells are not fused properly. They do not divide continuously. That is a major concern, a major attribute while developing this particular hybridoma technology. So we need to always screen it properly. We have to always screen this viability of the cells by using MTT assay. There are multiple methods are there, okay, where we screen this particular hybridoma technology. And finally we will get this the monoclonal antibody, which is very specific against this specific antigen that we referred. Among these total 6 antigen, only this particular antigen is going to be provoke this particular system, that is we call it antibody, which will act against the antigens. So that specificity is having with this monoclonal antibody. Normal antigens, if you just inject these normal antigens, what happens, it will provide only the beta cell which will have a polyclonal antibody. We call that, what is polyclonal antibody? Nothing but the bind to different epitopes. But here it has the ability to bind a specific antibody. So that specific antibody we call as a monoclonal antibody. So that's why it is widely used in cancer therapy to the mask the surface proteins for cancer and prevent for proliferation of the continuous growth. So because you all know the cancer cells, we have certain the signals cell like through MSC. So it will block directly that MSC, so that cancer cell will not further proliferate and divide. That's why this monoclonal antibody is widely used in immunotherapy, even cancer therapy and your viral therapy also. Many purpose, rheumatoid arthritis, some certain genetic disease. So we normally use this monoclonal antibody. So again, this is the process. Just now I talked about that. What are the advantages of this monoclonal antibody? So the main advantage of this monoclonal antibody, these are we can say though it is expensive, but monoclonal antibodies are cheaper to develop than conventional drug because it has based on tested technology. If you see the technology is very I think very simple techniques, okay, where we can develop this hybridoma. The side effect can be treated and reduced by using mice human hybrid cells or by using fraction of antibodies. They bind to specific disease or damaged cell needing treatments. They treat wide range of conditions. So there are multiple advantages of monoclonal antibody where we can produce this antibody at large quantities. Yeah, every systems, every technology has certain drawbacks. The major drawback of this technology is a very time consuming process. It required 6 months to develop this particular process. It is very expensive and need considerable effort to produce them. There are a lot of contaminations chances are there. We need to avoid that contamination because this process is required aseptic conditions. The small peptides and fragment antigens may not be good antigens. Sometimes we take small peptides and fragments which doesn't have that capability to provoke our immune cells to produce the antibody. That is a major concern. So we need to always identify the immunogenicity property of any antigens. So monoclonal antibody may not recognize the original antigens. Hybridoma culture may be subject to contamination that we discussed. This system only well developed for limited animals and not for other animals because we only use the animal mice and mouse. That is certain limitations. More than 99% of cells do not survive during the fusion process. I just now talked about that. So we always fuse this myeloma cell with your normal beta lymphocytes, and then we get develop that particular hybridoma. But during the fusion process, what happens? certain cells may not fuse properly because of the maybe the electrofusion and PEG methods. So that is the one of the major constraint while developing this molecular antibody. The next drawback is it is possibility for generating immunogenicity. That is again another concern. So the problem of generating immunogenicity. So what are different types of monoclonal antibody? If you just talked about the monoclonal antibody, it has been classified into four types, which is obtained from human, then humanized, chimeric, and murine. So there are some abbreviations where we use how we get this particular monoclonal antibody. Mostly widely used technique, the monoclonal antibody is this human monoclonal antibodies. Then if just discuss about the monoclonal antibody versus polyclonal antibody. What is difference? How will you differentiate this? As we discussed, the polyclonal antibody have the capability to bind different epitopes, but monoclonal antibody bind to that specific antibody, that specific antigens or epitopes. That's why it is called as monoclonal. Mono means single, and polyclonal means have a capability to bind multiple antigens. Like if we have this five types of antigens like this, we have two types of antigens. Okay, so polyclonal antibody have the capability to bind both, but monoclonal have very specific, like it must maybe act on this particular antibody or may not act on this. That's why it is called as specifics. So antibody class, a mixture of different antibody classes, like we know the antibody, it could be AG, IgE, IgA, it could be mixture, but monoclonal have a very specific, which have a single antibody class, which contains single antibody. And the potential for cross reactivity is very low in case of monoclonal antibody, but in case of polyclonal, very high. Another difference is antigen binding sites, a mixture of antibody with different antigen binding sites. Here all antibody have same antigen binding sites. That's I think beauty of this particular monoclonal antibody. That's why they are very specific and very having a very good affinity against the specific antigens. Applications, talking to the application, it has a wide applications. We all know in diagnostic application, all the kits which is available in the market, which is based on ELISA kits and all this thing, radioimmunoassay, which is based on the monoclonal antibody because they are very specific. So where we use RT-PCR kits, various kits we use to identify the antigens. So that is based on monoclonal antibody. That's why it is used in diagnostics. Detect the proteins of interest either by blotting and immunofluorescence. So electroblotting techniques we mostly use to detect the DNA, RNA of any viruses, any kind of cancers with these monoclonal antibodies. Also, it is used in cardiovascular diseases to identify different diseases, and we treat the cardiovascular diseases by providing this therapy. Even in deep vein thrombosis, metastasis tumors. Yeah, it is widely used in cancer. We all know why it is used in cancer, because it has an ability to the mask that particular targeting signals or surface proteins which is there on the cancer cell, so which will not allow other cell to further grow. So that is a major I think the we can say breakthrough innovation by using these monoclonal antibodies, which is used in immunosuppressive therapies. Likewise, we have seen the first kind of use of this monoclonal antibody, which was used in that kidney transplantation, which is used as immunosuppressive agents, which will suppress the immunity, because in case of organ transplantations, we need to suppress the immunity so as to match that MSC proteins. We all know that is major histocompatibility complex proteins. We need to mask that. So for that, we use this monoclonal antibody. So another use of this monoclonal antibody is pregnancy kit. We all know we use this kit. Just we have put your urine on that particular pregnancy kit, immediately you will get a results. That is based on that monoclonal antibody. It has a therapeutic application, radioisotope immunoconjugates. Even we can detect the toxins and even drug immunoliposome based kits we use in cancer, drug delivery, a number of applications of this monoclonal antibodies. So we all know this drug, which is now because of this pandemic situation, COVID-19, we use this particular antibodies, a molecular antibody widely. We all know that is tocilizumab, which is nothing but the monoclonal antibodies. If we talked about this therapy of antibody therapy versus vaccine therapy, so antibody therapies are is also one of the we can say the boon for pharmaceutical industries and healthcare industries, apart from the vaccines. So yeah, no doubt vaccines also one of the major player which is used as a preventive purpose, but this antibody therapy is used for treatment purpose. That is we use for the COVID-19 virus. which was developed by Roche company. We all know this is available in injectable forms. It has a good specificity. If you see this virus, this COVID-19 virus, it has a very good specificity. If you use this particular antibody, monoclonal antibody, which has high specificity against this spike proteins, which will block this spike, which will not allow to grow further. So that is a capability of this particular monoclonal antibodies. If you talk about future perspective of therapeutic monoclonal antibodies, the market for therapeutic monoclonal antibodies increasing year by year. If you see till 2017, there were only 17 monoclonal antibody, but if you see about today's 2021, there are about 35, more than 35 monoclonal antibodies available in the market, which are used for different diseases. Like we all know Crohn disease, ulcerative colitis, rheumatoid arthritis, cancer. Then we talked about multiple sclerosis, transplant rejection, arthritis, IBD, that is inflammatory bowel disease, psoriasis also. Yeah, there are certain monoclonal antibody which is used in psoriasis also. Characteristics of therapeutic stereospecific monoclonal antibody are the high specificity and affinity for targeted disease. So many scientists are now making the the bispecific we can say bispecific monoclonal antibody which we use for the multiple therapy. Another applications of future perspective of therapeutic monoclonal antibodies, recognition of conformational epitopes. So general monoclonal antibodies show specific affinity to primary structures of target antigens through 2D recognition. But nowadays, because of advancement of technology, we can get it done through 3D recognition also. So future therapeutic medicines, we all know we are talking about personalized medicines. So maybe this would be the one of the future medicines where we target the particular disease. We can get it recover that particular disease, infections by using this monoclonal antibody without affecting any other parts, because this has a very good specificity. Stereospecific targeting may contribute to selective production of stereospecific monoclonal antibodies. Stereospecific recognitions of target antigens may provide a novel therapeutic approaches since proteins retain intact conformational structure in nature. Stereospecific targeting may also applicable to new types of bispecific and catalytic antibody. Just now we talked about that. Maybe one antibody could be used for two different diseases. That is called as bispecific. So that is another area where many scientists are working. Thank you very much for patiently hearing my this session. Please like my this video and subscribe. If you're not subscribed my channel, please subscribe my channels to get more updated video from my side. Thank you very much for your patiently hearing all this session. Keep watching my all videos. Thank you.